Kit Malthouse, the former Education Secretary, has blown the cat out of the waters, really, by pointing out that he understands Suella Braverman not only wants to trim back the graduate visa to 6 months from what Boris Johnson had set up at 2 years, but she also plans to cut the number of foreign students so that she meets her spurious target to reduce migration during the time of this Parliament. This is madness. This is simply the same sort of bureaucratic fiddle that Mrs. May embarked on all those years ago when she started the hostile environment. One of the few groups of people in this country who are very well documented and who can be pursued with aggression by a bureaucratically minded Home Office intent on getting its figures down is the student population. Every student is very well documented. And I have seen again and again, particularly during the tenure of Mrs. May, students being bullied and pressured and having visas curtailed, refused, then allowed, and all that bureaucracy generates a record, which means that when students try to get a future visa, they are told that they had failed at some point in the past. Why? Because of a bureaucratic misstep. Because this is impossible to negotiate for anybody with even half a mind. It requires so much work, and it requires effectively top legal advice. Why should we be forcing students to take top legal advice simply to get an education, simply to take advantage of the education that we are offering? We think we are offering a really good education system, but of course we are offering people the chance to study in our system so that in fact they end up with a degree which is perfectly tailored to work in our system, and then we're telling them to go away. That is the Suella Braverman approach, that is the Mrs. May approach, that is wrong, and Kit Malthouse has demonstrated that. He says that reducing the number of foreign students will increase the fees to domestic students. He is absolutely right, because reducing the number of foreign students who pay over the odds for their education fills the coffers of the universities. It's not fair, but it at least keeps the domestic fees down. Reducing those foreign students will raise those domestic fees. Already we are seeing post-COVID that the fees for students in university accommodation have shot up, have doubled in the last year. That is only the beginning if Suella Braverman has her way. This is a foul and ideological obsession. It is wrong, wrong, wrong. This is a Home Secretary who needs to go before she does any more damage.